Hello, hello, hello. Hooligan Soccer Podcast coming at you with a Champions League end of game week 1 wrap up with myself, Gary Striker, and the flaming pinto that is the Qooligan. Qooligan, we've just finished that Man City, Napoli, Newcastle, Barcelona double header.
Yeah, talking about flaming pintos. Woo! Napoli, hello.
Yeah, I mean that was a wild one. We will let's do it chronologically and start from day one.
It's a little unfair. It's a little unfair, but still, I mean, to the pinto.
Yeah, to the pinto. But yeah, let's get into it chronologically and just go through some of the games from match week 1. So, but as always, of course, as we always request, hooligan-soccer.com, you can find all of the musings, the writings, the ramblings, all of the bullshit and the banter and the analytics as well that comes from the Qooligan, myself, and our stable of growing writers. Like, follow, subscribe, all the rest of it. This is not brought to you by Hims or Roman because they have not sponsored us, nor Athletic Greens this time. Maybe one day. So no, we won't be pushing any dick pills down.
Or even the American Museum
yet.
of Tort Law. They haven't even decided to sponsor us, even though we are as much of a flaming pinto as that landmark case.
Indeed. So, Qooligan. All right, let's try and keep this tight and right, and so not to get into rambling. So, Tuesday we had a couple of interesting games. There was the Arsenal kicking off against Atletico Bilbao, 2-0 Arsenal. Yeah. This was a bit of a meh, and then obviously the other early game as well was the not the other early game, but the other game as well was PSV playing against, was it Union Royal Saint Gilloise? Am I pronouncing that correctly? Is my French Gilloise?
I think it's Gilloise.
Gilloise. There we go. Oh my God, my French
would be very rusty. That would be your French.
Yes.
Of the Wallonian style, but they're in the French part of Belgium, not the Dutch part.
They are, yeah. Well, and they beat the Dutch PSV as well. So there was a bit of a
which is also in the French part of the Netherlands, as opposed to. I mean, no, it's not. That's not true. Actually, it's Eindhoven is in Netherlands proper. It's not like Maastricht or any of those other areas down in Limburg, which are really basically surrounded by Belgium on all sides. It's like the tonsil of the Netherlands.
Getting into this is rapidly becoming a geopolitical podcast as well as a Champions League special as well. But
geographic, there's nothing to do with politics. It's just geography. It literally looks like a tonsil, but that's okay.
It does. Yeah, it does. Okay, so we had the first games, and then also as well some of the other games as well, and then we had Real Madrid against Marseille. But I think the standout game for that day on that game week 1 was that Juve Dortmund. That second half was just insane.
As games go,
absolutely insane.
Best one. It'll be hard to top that.
8 goals in the second half, all of them, and then Lloyd Kelly and Vlahovic scoring 2 last minute at 96th and then 94th and 96th minute catch up and then equalizer was absolutely sensational.
Yeah, instant classic. Instant
classic indeed.
Just. Yeah.
So and then the other game as well for game week 1 as well, which I think is also that was game week 2 was the Liverpool game, but I'm sorry I'm jumping ahead of myself. And there was the Tottenham game as well, and then of course there was that other early game, that Olympiacos against Paphos, that Cyprus versus Cypriots versus Greek.
Yes, Greece versus Cyprus in proxy.
Proxy, yes.
Right.
Yes. Sort of encounter as well. So there was a lot of sort of geographical, sort of historical lineups as well.
I mean, I'm not bringing up. I mean, the geopolitical element is present in all of these matches in one way or another. It just so happens that there were some real ones in this.
Yes, some real ones and ones that have never happened before. Okay, so from game week 1, what games stood out at you, and what teams, and any sort of goals or sort of moments that sort of caught your attention?
I mean, the Tottenham game was a snooze. All right, that
Shocking.
Was the dullest.
Shocking.
The dullest game.
Yes.
There was just nothing happening there. Sorry, just boring. Arsenal versus Bilbao, sure, it was good. But, I think the body count was almost as high as the goal count. I mean, there were 2 players that were treated for bleeding head injuries in the first 25 minutes of the game. And so that goes to show how invested everybody was, right? I mean, they were going at it full on. But at the end of the day, Bilbao is a club that spent $14.5 million in the transfer market. Total. That's 4%. 4% of what Arsenal spent. So are we shocked by this? No. No, we shouldn't be. And I don't think, and I don't think it means that Bilbao is a bad team. They're actually quite competent and, and do well. And to make it to this stage in a league as hard as the Spanish La Liga is a testament to their ability, right? But no, Arsenal kind of brushed them aside.
Yeah.
There. 2 games actually jumped out, aside from the Instant Classic, which is just on its own unparalleled. The first one was, as you mentioned, PSV versus what is sometimes known as USG, right? The Union Saint-Gilloise. This is it. USG is this year's Brest.
Okay.
Undoubtedly. No, they are. So here's my reasoning on it. They are, without a doubt, the strongest team in Belgium, which doesn't say much, okay? It's the Belgian league, right?
Sorry, when you say strongest, is it like currently at the moment, just in terms of form and performance, they are the strongest, even more than Brugge and would that be fair to say? Yep.
7 games in, 6 wins, 1 draw.
Great research, great homework.
15 goals, 15 goals for, I think one against. I mean, they're a strong team. Here's the other
interesting
thing.
The Belgian league.
They are, yes, very much so. It is sponsored by Jupiler, which is a passably decent Pilsner. So you can also drink to that. They are also owned by this Tony Bloom, who owns Brighton. Okay, so they have the same ownership group as Brighton and Hove Albion.
They've moneyballed it. Oh my God! And do they have the same operating model where they buy the young talent as well, farm them, sort of get them good?
I've not gone in too deep into looking at that, but they are a surprisingly strong side. Sort of have come out of nowhere.
Yeah,
and I think PSV were shocked by them. I mean, absolutely shocked. And when I watched them play, they were good, very good. And I'd say that any team now going up against them is going to have to they're going to see that scoreline and go, wow, we're going to have to take this a lot more seriously than we thought we. Otherwise, they're going to get spanked.
Yeah. Interesting.
And then the second one that shocked me, and I think shocked almost everybody, was the Karabakh against Benfica.
I mean, wow, this was a game. That was good. So good.
Karabakh is one of those teams that you pay attention to because their spelling is so unusual. All right. It has a Q in it. It has a Q in it, and it has a G with one of those funny little things. Okay. And so you go, wow, that's bizarre. And of course, they're from Azerbaijan, and they are the strongest club in Azerbaijan by orders of magnitude. They got into the Champions League once, took that money, invested it, and have been dominating the Azerbaijani soccer scene ever since. That said, they still had to go through playoffs to get there. Benfica should have handled them. Benfica didn't. They were down. They were up 2 goals and looking in total cruise control. And Karabakh came back and surprised the crap out of them.
They did
3 unanswered goals. And in their very first Champions League debut, which was in 2017, they got 2 draws and they lost the rest of their games. All right. And those draws were, whatever. This is a win. I mean, this is huge for them. And I don't think they're going to be the next unheralded team. I think people are going to have to be careful. I still think USG is a better team than them. And I think USG will go farther in the competition. But Karabakh suddenly made everybody sit up and say, this could be dangerous.
Yeah. This could be dangerous indeed. Yeah, it's a really, really good shout to just call those. Now, obviously, similar to a game we sort of, Premier League and all the other leagues as well. It's very, very early in the season as well. And so we will sort of find out after maybe sort of 3 or 4 games and sort of match weeks, we'll find out sort of really who is the real deal and who is not. But they certainly did surprise everyone with those results. And I agree with you, Karabakh. I was watching those goals, and they did not give up. They did not roll over, and they dug in and they fought and they came back. And Benfica are a decent side. They were a decent side.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's what I'm saying.
And we can proudly announce that they've even just become an even better side because they fired their manager after that and then promptly hired Jose Mourinho, who is now the Benfica manager, 25 years on. He is back after his first managerial stint, which lasted, I think it was less than it wasn't even half a season. I don't think he lasted. He got fired pretty quickly.
He didn't last long there. No,
he didn't last long. But they've got Jose back. Jose is back in the Champions League. And the beautiful thing about this wonderful poetic game is they're playing Chelsea next. So Benfica and Jose Mourinho are going up against Chelsea.
I know. If anybody was to write this, if somebody had wrote this script, 3 months ago, people would have laughed and said, Qarabag with a win, Mourinho coaching Benfica. Posh! No, it would never.
Not going to happen.
And yet it does. And yet it does. Yeah, I can't even really speak to the Real Madrid-Marseille game. I think, Real was better. Sure, they beat Marseille, fine. But was it as convincing a win as it should have been? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, they conceded. That's not good.
Yeah. Yeah. I also had a real interest. I was actually because there's the Golazo show, so they're cutting around, and then I had it also on my sort of second screen on my laptop, and have an extra computer screen. I actually had the Marseille Real Madrid game on because I was really fascinated to see how Xavi Alonso's Real Madrid would perform and how they would look. And then I just all of a sudden looked at the Marseille team sheet, and I was like, holy shit, like there's so many names that I recognize here.
Yeah.
And then because they had
that's right.
Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Arsenal, correct. Chelsea,
who should have tied it.
Yeah,
he did. Well, he absolutely screwed the pooch there.
He's another one of these. He's a sprinter first, and then a football player, a soccer player next. And then they had U.S. men's team Timo Weah.
Yep,
George Weah's son,
scored
obviously on loan.
Stunning goal,
fantastic goal. And then they had Mason Greenwood, the Manchester United off-cut, who obviously had some legal issues that was cleared of all of those things, and then he's rebooting his career, and there he was. And so just looking at those three, I was really surprised. And then they had Benjamin Pavard, the French wing back as well.
That's right.
I was like, this is a team of sort of offcuts and misfits as well, and they've sort of cobbled them together, and they look good. They look good. I know they lost to Real Madrid, even though I think Real had a player
it's really funny
as well.
Now I remember that I did have something very unpleasant to say about this game, and that was the penalty kick that was given to Real Madrid was an absolute travesty.
It was. That was the handball, right? The Marseille defender did a really good tackle to get back, and the ball just bobbled against his hand, and as it was like his
literally,
hand was down
he's going to ground. His arm is in a natural position. The ball hits the ground, bounces into his arm. They gave the penalty kick. Yeah. There is not a single person that was a pundit watching that, the rules analyst that they interviewed afterwards, and I'm sure there's going to be a statement that's released that says that was a mistake, and VAR should have intervened and said, "God damn it, don't give that. Do not give them a penalty for that."
I saw some rumor that Real Madrid
will still complain.
I was going to say
they will still release a statement about how abused they were in this game.
I saw some rumor that apparently Real Madrid are preparing a dossier of examples of where they've been sort of wronged by referees, and they're going to submit it to FIFA. And I wonder if that will be a part of that dossier as well. I do wonder if that will be a part of it.
Yeah, because they'll probably argue that he should have gotten a red card.
Exactly. Well, Real managed to get through.
That was it. I mean, in all of the other 17 other games that occurred, right, within this 3-day opening stretch, there were none of them had a howler from the referees as bad as that one. That was the only game where it was like truly an abysmal amount. It's just an awful thing. And it changed the game, and it gave Real a win.
And then the other thing as well, and part of the other reason why I was watching that Real game, because I am just fascinated to see how Trent performs and fits in. And unfortunately, it was quite sad to see him go off after 5 minutes, replaced by Carvajal. And then Carvajal goes and does that sort of like quasi headbutt and sort of makes that motion, which you can't do. And then he gets the red card for it as well. And so, again,
that was
you can't do that.
That was an appropriate card, sure. Yeah. They'll probably argue that. They'll probably put that in the list of grievances.
Put that in the dossier as well. Yeah, technically, you didn't really connect hard enough with them to warrant a red card, but there we go. Okay,
we call that the Madrid kiss. I mean, what the hell?
Madrid kiss. There's another. The Glaswegian kiss as well. I think is another term for that as well. So yes,
that one tends to be a little bit bloodier, but okay.
That will hurt. Yeah. Okay. So that was Tuesday's set of games, and I mean, I think coming out of that, definitely USG are definitely sort of becoming fans' favorite. Qarabag definitely looked good. Juve Dortmund was just an instant classic, as we mentioned as well, and then Tottenham snooze fest. Anyway, but they all get points. They're all sort of it's beginning to shape up. Then moving into Wednesday, it was Wednesday the way it was programmed in terms of the games. I think it was only just there were 2 early games and then 4 bangers of games, weren't there? There was that Ajax Inter
every day
Bayern
had
Chelsea.
2 early and then 4
Yeah.
afternoon. Yeah.
But the 4 afternoon games on which Wednesday was the sort of the marquee.
Those were
these all the
unparalleled.
big games. Yeah.
Those were all the marquee games. Yeah.
Just in terms of like the caliber of teams that were playing as well, in terms of the results. I mean, your beloved Ajax against Inter, that one was just, Marcus Thuram, 2 quick goals. And
that didn't surprise me. No, I didn't think Ajax had much of a chance in that game.
Yeah, they didn't. I mean, Inter's last season's finalist as well. Inter are looking really good, and they're going to be a real dangerous threat as well. Bayern, Chelsea, I think, I discussed this. I said I didn't think Chelsea were going to win this. And Bayern, as you can see, at home, you can see they're just too dominant, too strong, too confident.
Yeah.
Bayern were really, really strong. Harry Kane's finishing is fantastic as well. So it's very good. And then the other one in there, I mean, we've got to talk about Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, and Diego Simeone. I mean, Liverpool, what are we calling it? Slot time, slot ball? I know we kind of covered this in the previous one. I think you were saying that there's some journalist in The Guardian has called it slottage time. Is
slottage
that it?
Time, which I think is rather clever. Kudos to them for that. I call it clutch time. It is what it is, right? And Liverpool just continues to do it. What a display.
Yeah.
What a display. Will it last? No, probably can't last, but certainly puts them in a comfortable position.
At the risk of repeating ourselves, it's a testament to their character and their commitment to sort of not giving in, but the leaking at the back is a concern, and they need to if they plug that, they're really dangerous.
Well, I'm going to say the first goal that Atletico scored, I do think there is a very strong argument that you can make that that Antoine Griezmann, who was at least 1.5 meters offsides, was clearly in Allison's view.
He was interfering. Yep.
And they didn't even look at it. The VAR didn't even look at it. And I thought that was really surprising. Listen, if you're a conspiratorially minded person, 2 games involving Madrid teams with questionable referee decisions, both of them just like favoring without a doubt the Madrid team. I don't know. It's, like I said, if you're conspiratorially minded, there's something there.
But
I do think that one of them was a clear miscarriage of justice.
Yeah.
The one with Griezmann, I think they should have at least looked and studied the lines because, But in the end, did it matter? No. So I'm not upset about it. Didn't alter the game. Didn't change the result of the game.
Well,
right.
It did not.
So in that sense, that's fine. Everything all washes out.
Yeah. Yeah. And then there were, if there is some consistency here of both Madrid teams getting red cards, and towards at the end, of course, Diego Simeone, we were joking with it, that we hope he brings the shithousery and true to form, he certainly fit the bill. He got sent off in the dying minutes after that. Virgil van Dijk header went in as well. He went off on there was some Scouser, some Liverpool fan who was sort of seen sort of goading him, and it turns out that this guy's got a bit of a history of goading fans. Apparently he was like abused. He was banned for 3 years for sort of abusing an old lady.
He had a 3-year stadium ban. They don't issue 3-year stadium bans just because you threw a water bottle. No, that's bad. It's bad.
You'd think he would have learned, and then just sort of said, okay, I'll take it, and sort of don't want to happen again, but had no problem sort of getting in Simeone's face. And then also as well, there was another version of the video where one of his assistants spat at him as well. So Phoebe Wafer investigating is this as well. Classic Atletico Madrid shithousery, ugliness on the side of the game. It's really, I don't think it's fun to see. It's a bit stupid, really, to be honest.
It's a little pathetic, on both sides. The fans shouldn't be doing that. Coaches should certainly not be doing that either.
He is experienced enough.
They shouldn't be getting a rise out of him, right?
It's almost too easy. Sort of Simeone, like he almost does it. It's a pantomime villain almost in a way, and I think he does it just to sort of project his character and sort of do it. But yeah, so Simeone got a straight red. He was off, and he'll obviously miss some. He'll have some touchline ban as well.
It's a one game ban. It's a 1 game ban for him. Yeah, that's
okay.
It.
All right.
It's a 1 game ban.
Yeah.
Again. It's a conduct, right? It's a behavioral thing. It's not like he punched somebody. If he throws a punch, it's going to be more, but it's just, it was inappropriate action. So that's generally that's a 1 game ban. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely so. He will miss the next game, which will be against Frankfurt, who looks very good.
Which is a big game, by the way. That's actually, and now that they're in the hole, that game now carries a lot more weight because there's a very good chance they lose to Frankfurt.
Yeah.
Even if they're at home. There's a very good chance they lose to Frankfurt, and all of a sudden they're two in
behind,
the pit, and that's a problem.
And then they're scrambling for playoff places and qualify, and it's again similar to the league. Like, you want to get off to a good start, get 3 points under your belt, and just have a sort of position of comfort as well, and go from there.
Yeah. And we all know that you don't need to really do anything until the last 3 games, because that's what happened last season. But don't put yourself in a position where you have to perform for those last 3 games.
Exactly.
You'd much rather be Liverpool, where you can go to the last game, put a team of grandmothers and 14-year-olds on the pitch, and just still walk away top of the league. Why not? Sure, that's the way to do it.
Exactly. And then the other game on Wednesday was PSG 4, Atalanta 0. I mean, it could have been double that easily.
Yeah. I will admit I was surprised at how easily they brushed Atalanta aside. Atalanta is usually a much stronger team than that, and they made them look like amateur.
Yeah, they really did.
They really did.
And the only amateur was Kavica as well. What a fantastic player he is. Hey, what an I love him. He is so good. That goal he scored was absolutely fantastic. But then Dembele, Doué missing a good couple of real opportunities. Yeah, they were.
They weren't even on the field. They came on later, but they didn't start.
Yeah, they came off. But they missed a number of opportunities and could have put it well on and sort of been there. But that's how it goes.
That was an example of profligacy did not come back and haunt. But you skipped over the 2 early games, and I don't want to do that, because those 2 games featured debutants.
Okay.
And that's been one of those interesting stories. USG is a debutant. It's the first time they're in the Champions League. They got a win on Tuesday. It's highly unusual. Paphos, the Cypriot team, and Bodo Glimt from the Arctic Circle in Norway, both played and both got draws. Again, also highly unusual. So that's 3 out of 4 debutantes that drew points in the opening game. Bodo, it could be argued, probably should have won, but there was a first-minute own goal that happened. Okay, fine, whatever. Not terribly upset about it, but I think they surprised Slavia.
Yeah,
undoubtedly.
Yeah.
And Paphos Olympiacos was just a classic 0-0 draw.
Aegean fight.
Aegean stalemate, man. I mean,
it really was.
If you know your classical history, it's the way that the Greeks used to fight. They basically put a bunch of phalanxes together, and they just run into each other, and they grind it out until enough people are left standing that they declare a winner. In this particular case, they were all the same, and they just decided, raised the white flag, said, right, we're going to go back and have some meze, right? We're going to drink some ouzo, and we'll meet again. Thank you. Moving on.
The Battle of Thermopylae 2025.
Lordy, crazy, it was. Right?
What was also interesting, what I do love about this, is suddenly like seeing all these when I say ex-players, older sort of players that are known sort of pop up all of a sudden. And so I was really surprised to see David Luiz playing for Paphos, right?
He lasted all of 17 minutes and then had to get taken off because apparently you could not run anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, considering he won this competition in 2012, right? So that's how long ago.
We'll give him a break.
Yeah.
Why not?
And so I'm sure the owner obviously is probably a big David Luiz fan and thought, I'll sign him and then play him in the Champions League, and brought him back and give him some money, and he lives a nice life in Cyprus by the beach, enjoying himself. Yeah.
No, that's right. No, Marinakis owns Olympiacos. I don't know who owns Paphos. Yeah. That's
yeah.
All right.
Wait, Marinakis owns Olympiacos as well as Nottingham Forest?
Yeah. You didn't know that?
Shit. Oh my God, this multi-club ownership thing is getting confusing.
No. Marinakis has owned Olympiacos for nearly, 12, 15 years? He's owned Olympiacos forever.
But then let's just say Forest do. Yeah, let's say Forest do then qualify for the Champions League and Olympiacos. Then there's some conflict of issue here, and then we have a Crystal Palace.
Well, he set his shares in Olympiacos in trust. So he did that before the deadline. Yeah.
Well, that's okay then. Oh, that's okay. Yeah.
Sure.
Oh my God. Wow. Tony Bloom owner. Like, again, if Bryson get in as well.
No, it's the same thing. This is where this is going to be interesting, because what happens if Brighton make it into Europe, and then you got USG, if they perform really well, they're going to be guaranteed a spot in Europa.
Yeah.
They could potentially clash there. So it'll come back. multi-club ownership clashing is not going to end.
Eh?
It's not going to end.
The game has changed. It's only just begun. Hey, it's only just begun. It really has. Oh my goodness! Wow. Okay. All right. And then that brings us through to the final round of games that happened today.
Yeah.
Early game. I mean,
ones.
I had this Club Brugge AC Monaco game on as a quasi AC Monaco fan because I really do like sort of Monaco's players and history that they've had. But Brugge or Bruges, as you would say in the English vernacular, were sensational. Hey, that stadium was
so good.
Bouncing. Hey, it was bouncing. Good. Oh my God, they were all over them. Yeah.
And I mean, Monaco shot themselves in the foot. They had the
penalty,
early penalty. Absolutely. I mean, there have been some bad penalties I've seen in the last few weeks. This one's right up there on the top 2, 3 of horrific penalties. So, along with Barcola, who took a penalty for Barcola, that was his first ever penalty. It was his last penalty. They will never let him take a penalty again, ever.
Yeah.
It was just, wow, so bad. This one was just as bad. So, I don't even know who took it, but that was the moment right there. That moment swung the pendulum back to Belgium, and then Brugge completely answered. They got 3 goals in 11 minutes. Yeah, 3 goals in 11 minutes.
They just dominated
to close out the first half.
They just overran them completely as well, right? So, yeah.
Done.
And speaking of ex-players that you know, and you're like, oh, are they popping up as well? There, obviously Simon Mignolet, obviously who had to get subbed off after that penalty save. He got an injury, I believe. Is that right? He got
groin injury. He claimed.
Yeah, he claimed, which makes sense. And then also it was interesting to see Minamino as well. That Liverpool, I don't know if he's on loan or they've sold him, and also Eric Dyer as well now, obviously. After he'd spent some time at Bayern Munich, obviously decided to go and get some tax-free money, go and live by the French Riviera in Monaco as well.
And U.S. men's national team, Balogun, plays for Monaco, right? So, these are all teams that have good. I mean, Monaco shouldn't have lost like that. That's a bad loss for them.
That was. Yeah, they really did throw that one away for sure.
And still, no Paul Pogba, even though they have him.
Yeah. Oh.
No Paul
Pogba, don't they? Yeah,
for Monaco. Yeah, that's right.
What the hell happened there? Why didn't they?
They haven't played him. They haven't played him ever. He has had no minutes for Monaco since they signed him over the summer.
The natural thought would just be fitness and getting him upright, and they don't want to push him in too early because if you go 2-3 years without playing, there's a fitness level that he's got to get.
They probably had to detox him a little bit, but
sure. To throw that one in there as well, right? Yeah.
I mean,
oh my God,
they put him in the sauna for a week and. Sweat it out.
Dry him out. Yeah, sweat it all out. Get it out of your system. Oh my goodness, that's funny.
Yeah.
And okay, so
I just got to call out one thing on the other early game, which was Copenhagen versus Bayer Leverkusen. I said one thing in the pregame write-up that I wrote. I said one thing. I said, "Damn it, Copenhagen, do not commit a foul and give a free kick where Alejandro Grimaldo can hit it." And what did they do? Sure as hell, they gave him it, and he freaking nailed it. I mean, that's his third direct ball banger in less than a week. That's just nasty. He did 2 of them in their shocking upset, the Bayern Leverkusen shocking upset over Frankfurt, where they were 9 men. They had 9 men on the field, and they still won 3-1.
Okay.
And those 2 goals came from Grimaldo, and they did it again. Honestly, if I was going up against Bayer Leverkusen in one of these Champions League games, I'd be thinking about how I get somebody to take a lead pipe to his leg because, man, he is dangerous.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
So dangerous.
Anyway. The other interesting factoid from that game that I noticed as well is that they had a young Jordan Larson playing, who was the son of Henrik Larson, the famous,
that's right.
Which was really good to see.
Who got the assist on the first goal? Yeah,
it was great, and then a goal, and then the goal as well, right? Yeah, so no, he got the goal.
I think so.
He
Yeah,
scored.
Correct.
Yeah, he scored and got an assist as well. So yeah, that was a fun little factoid there as well. Just beautiful majesty and poetry of the game. Yeah, coming through. And then of course we had the rest of the games that came out today. I mean, I think the big one that we were building up was this Man City Napoli, right? This is KDB going back to Manchester, plus Højlund, plus McTominay as well. Big build, and it's like, okay, let's see how they can break it down. And I don't know if it was more like, the Napoli defenders' sort of stupidity, or it was just because Erling Haaland is in such fine form. But that red card from, what was it, Di Lorenzo, wasn't it? Yeah. So, but Haaland, just the way he looked as though he's behind him, Haaland is in such fine form at the moment. He really is. His pace, his strength. his body positioning. He drew that foul so well. He knew exactly what he was doing. And
of course,
Di
clear
Lorenzo
red
took it
card
hook,
though,
line,
and rightly so. I mean, I think this is
Yeah.
the best argument for VAR that one can say, because on the initial call, the referee didn't have a view. Right, where he was in the positioning, he could not see whether or not he touched the ball. He just assumed he touched the ball because he was down extending.
Yeah.
But when you look at the replay, he clearly
Didn't
missed
get
the
there.
ball.
Didn't get there. Yeah. Didn't get there.
Right.
Yeah.
Red card. They could have employed that same VAR theory for the rail red card, or for the, for the Griezmann obstruction. Did they? No, but at least they did it in this case because it was appropriate. It was absolutely appropriate. Now, did it change the game? Yes. Did it make it
completely
a cakewalk for City?
No.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, they just had to, but it just keep bashing on, sort of battering around the door. I mean, it was a shame for the spectator as well, because I was really looking to see how KDB would do, and obviously. Conte took him off to sort of, change the system and park the buys, which you can understand Conte's thinking. And again, he's like, we're Italian, we're the Italian champions, we're good for defending, we're just going to defend, and you come at us. They were too good.
And De Bruyne doesn't, and also and this is not a diss on him, but can he go in a 10-man system for
doesn't have the legs?
No,
that's
probably
he's not a defender. He's a beautiful, majestic, creative player that puts in balls.
And now he no longer, you don't need him. He was sacrificed on the altar of practicality. And I think appropriately so. Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was the right call. It didn't help, but that's fine. And let's give Haaland some credit, because he got his 50th Champions League goal.
Yeah.
Today.
Okay.
And it was a lovely finish. I mean, Foden delivered a chip. And when you look at it, you see the finishing and you go, gee, yeah, that's inevitable. It's not inevitable. That header that he does is not instinctive, in the sense that anybody can just go and do that. No, that is knowing where you are, where the keeper is, where the goal is, in split seconds, and just finessing it just slightly to go over. And I mean, it was gorgeous. It's a fine goal to get 50. And he is the most efficient goal scorer to hit 50 in
I saw that,
championship in Champions League history. 49, 50 goals.
That's amazing. That is incredible. At that level, it just shows it really is.
It's the best in Europe.
Yeah. It's He's done it at the Premier League now, and he's doing it in the Champions League as well. He is. If he carries on like this, he will be up there. He is that next generation in there. That pocket of Yamal, Yamal, Vinicius Junior, Haaland. There's that cohort. That
if he can keep that very large frame of his in good shape, he could be challenging Cristiano,
Ronaldo numbers.
Messi.
He could challenge
he absolutely could.
On the numbers, on the statistics, on the raw numbers, yes, he will be challenging them. Is he? I mean, he's a different type of player to Messi, for example. I think Messi's a much better player.
Not comparing player, but just looking at the pure numbers. The man is.
It's a beast.
He's a machine. He's a machine. He's a calculator, right? So,
absolute beast. And then the other game as well that I thought was quite interesting as well was Frankfurt. Obviously, they'd sold their star striker Ekitike to Liverpool, and I thought they'd have some scoring problems. But, I mean, not today. I mean, I know it was against Galatasaray that maybe weren't necessarily the strongest competition, but it really was an easy walk in the park for them, right?
Again, it's the same scenario that you saw with Brugge and Monaco. Galatasaray came out real strong. They got the first goal. Nice goal. And then in the third minute, they had an absolute sitter, open net, and the guy just shanked it. And right then, that was the moment where they just lost it. Because about 13 minutes later, there was a sequence of just absolute defensive travesties that happened, where Galatasaray tried to build out from the back, and the Frankfurt player came in, and he stole the ball, and then he took a shot that was wide, and it hit the defender, and it went in the net, and that broke the dam right there. And next thing you knew, Frankfurt was, with it another 7 minutes after that, they had 2 more goals.
Yeah.
And here's the interesting thing. Out of the 5 goals that they scored, 3 of them were own goals. Right? 3 of them were own goals because they came off of. That's how bad a day the Turks had it. I mean, it was not pretty.
I mean, it wasn't necessarily self-inflicted. They were kind of like forced errors almost in a way. But I tell you,
in some cases, sure. Yeah.
one player that really, really jumped out at me that I really like the look of is this 19-year-old Turkish, German-born Turk, Can Uzan. This midfielder, Uzan. I'm just looking at his stats now. This season, he's played 5 games, scored 4 goals, and he's got 3 assists.
Yeah.
There's I know it's
and
so
grew
early
up
in the season as well.
And
as a Galatasaray fan, right?
Galatasaray fan. Yeah, I mean, like all of his childhood pictures, he's wearing Galatasaray colors.
His father and his uncles and everyone were Galatasaray fans as well. But he looks very good. He looks. It's
going to be a very awkward conversation at the dinner table at that household. I gotta say.
I'm sure they will be. I'm sure they will be proud for their family member to have had a good game.
Yeah.
And then the other game as well that we had an eye on was this Newcastle Barcelona game, and this was this was no Yamal. Yeah, no Yamal. It was an interesting one. It was quite open. Hey, Barcelona have a very high line, and you can see Eddie Howe and Newcastle set up for that. They didn't start that. Was it Voldemort? What's the German striker that they just signed as the Isak replacement?
Voltemade.
Thank you. Yeah. They went with the pace of I can't remember his name now. Who's the winger as well? And they were just going to play through balls through the back. And Barcelona, Elanga, right? Yeah. And Barcelona, I mean, if they play that high line, they're going to get found out against some teams who have a few pacey strikers. Hey, it's not going to be easy. Hey.
No, this wasn't. I don't think this was an obvious. This wasn't a cakewalk for them. But I do think you have to call out just Marcus Rashford was so good. And you don't
that
get
second goal.
You haven't said that about him for a long time. Even when he would get goals in for Aston Villa, there was always like No, he looked good.
He looked good. He's ready. He's got something to prove. Yeah, it was his 6th goal against Newcastle. 7th goal against Newcastle that he scored there. Yeah,
7th and 8th. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean he does like scoring against Newcastle, but even so. That first header was just picture perfect, and that second goal was a
thunderbolt. Yeah, wow, that was nice.
Banger,
that was nice.
Banger.
But how many times have we seen this where Man United players leave Man United and suddenly become good again?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it just speaks to
the narrative is that narrative is so
so worn in and just
so
it just
trite,
keeps reoccurring.
Right? It's so trite.
Trite. Oh wow,
right?
Wow, we're really digging
seriously.
through the thesaurus. Yeah, trite.
It just.
Digging through the thesaurus there, Qooligan, love it.
No,
okay, and then the other game.
I want to give a shout out to Kairat Almaty, who came from Kazakhstan, who are so low in the rankings. Right, they're not even in the top 500 from 2024-25 season.
Did you hear the statistic? They're like 10 places above San Diego or something like that.
No. They're 10
San Jose
places
earthquakes
below San Jose.
San Jose earthquakes on the rankings. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. That just goes to show. Yeah. That is special.
That ain't good. But what the story that struck me was they had to start their 3rd string goalkeeper, who is so new. He's only played 78 minutes.
He looked like a little.
He's played 78 minutes of professional soccer in his life.
He looked like he was in high school. He was that sort of small.
He is in high school. He just turned 18. Literally just turned 18.
He did well saving a penalty. He did well to save a penalty.
Drive
yeah.
In Kazakhstan. Okay, he could ride a horse anywhere he likes, but he can't drive a vehicle. And he stops a penalty, and I got to say, in a brilliant manner.
It was.
He makes the dive and then halts himself with his hand and sees the guys going up the middle and then kick saves it. That's remarkable.
It was good.
And sure, they lost 4-1. And that was expected because as soon as, the dam broke, you knew that Sporting was just going to roll through. But again, Kairat Almaty, everybody's fave to finish dead last, even mine. I think they have no chance in hell. Just the fact that they scored was remarkable. But yeah, I mean, to this kid, let's give some props to the unheralded and unsung players. Like, I went and tried to find out any information about him. Every major site, I think Transfermarkt, SofaScore, they don't even have him on the roster. That's how new he is. They haven't even put him on the roster yet.
Shurkan Kalmurzar, that is his name, right? That's his name, yeah.
That is
his name. Well, that is his name. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
and he's their He's the third choice
Mirza,
goalkeeper, is that right? Yeah, he's a third choice goalkeeper, right?
You're like, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
So that's just, I love those like feel good stories about this tournament, where you have somebody like that. And he suddenly entered up. I mean, what a platform for him. He's suddenly on a radar. People will look at what he did and go, okay, we're going to put we'll jot a little note down. Keep an eye on this kid because you can get him for nothing.
Chelsea will sign him, I'm sure, in the next transfer window, possibly. Classic Chelsea signing.
Yeah, that's probably true.
You've just cursed him. You've just there we go. The hand of Qooligan.
He could do worse. He could do worse.
He could do worse. Anyway, well, Qooligan, listen, we're over time. The ramblings and the banter continues as always. It's wonderful. Yeah. It's endless. It's great.
Thank you so
much.
Gotta go over time.
It's extra time. The
referee is adding extra time like you wouldn't
10
believe.
10 minutes of extra time as well. Yes, and wonderful. Well, we've covered all the shithousery, all the geopolitical tensions, and hopefully, we're no wiser about who the hell's going to win this competition or who's going to qualify because we're at the end of game week 1. So plenty more game weeks to come as well. So fun and games. All right, Qooligan. All right, we will be posting this now on Thursday. We've got the Premier League warm-up as well. So that'll be sort of coming out a little bit after that. Take a look at it. As always, hooligan-soccer.com. Please reach out to us for feedback, thoughts. If we check some of our statistics and our bullshit as well, absolutely, or any things that we've missed, please do. Until then, we will see you next time.
Peace.